I'm going to start this video. This is Danelle. I'm going to start this video assuming that you already have selected a journal in which you wish to publish, um, and talk to you about something called a TSA, text structure analysis, that can help you shape your writing to whatever the needs this journal is. Starting with what with the 10 top reasons why journal articles are rejected. Some of it has to do with the faculty not um, writing their article in a way that the journal finds acceptable or the journal matches the journal expectations. So one of the ways to find out what the expectations are is to do what I call a TSA. And in that, you will take 3 journal articles from the same journal that are very recent. Do try to get recent ones because, excuse me, because it could be that the editor has changed in the last year. It could be that the journal is doing a theme article on your area. So you want to make sure that you're current with what's going on in that journal, and that you can find 3 articles that meet your expectations. So those are 3 articles. They don't have to be on your topic area within that journal, because all we're looking at is structure. We're not looking at content. You're not reading it for structure. So when we talk about this, I have a number of different categories here, ways that you will analyze the article so that you can understand just what the expectations are of that journal. Let's look at this a little more carefully with a journal article that by Pololi in the Journal of General Medicine. And this is a review that I wrote before. And these are the categories generally that I've used within the text structure analysis. The first thing is a gist of the article. So when you read the article, try to figure out what's this about? Is it middle school students, mathematics, achievement data, or is it, what kinds of things are going on in this article? It's a 7-month faculty writing program. They talked about monthly goals. It was in medicine. The participants were assistant profs. It was a collaborative mentoring program. So that basically anchored that article in sort of the big picture of the context in which it occurred. The next thing you want to look at is the title, and try to figure out, is it friendly or formal, short or long? Is there a colon? Is it inviting, casual, or academic? And usually a title has all the elements of the study in the title. But do read it carefully, because that's the first thing that people read when they decide whether or not they're going to read your article. So you want to know what is a title that is typical in this journal. So this one, you might say it has a neutral tone, there's a colon, there's a smaller font after the colon. Those are just things I noticed about that title. Some people count words for this. How many words are in the title? That's also interesting data to have. The next thing is the abstract. How long is it? And usually I just count the number of words in one line, and I multiply it times the number of lines to end up with how many words. Because you don't need to be totally exact, but you need to have, is it 150 words? Is it 100 words? Is it 200 words? It'll give you some idea of how long your abstract should be before you read the publisher guidelines, which hopefully has that information in it, but it may not. And what's in the abstract? Is it like, many abstracts state the problem, then the methods, the results, implications, conclusions, all within those 160 words. So it's very important how well the abstract is written and what is included and not included in the abstract. And you can begin to think about this journal and how it sets up their abstracts, if they have one. Purpose of the research, what is it? Sometimes research, particularly it looks like the ones that come from Europe, say the aim of the study rather than the purpose. Some studies don't say it at all, like this one that Pololi did. they said, we describe our experience working with faculty in this program. They never say the purpose of this paper is to describe our experience of working with faculty in this program. So you have to imply the purpose. Personally, when I write, I like to have a sentence that says the purpose of the study is. Research questions, again, are they included? There's certainly something that guides the gathering of data, but is it something that shows up in the article? And usually the purpose of the study comes is almost in that last paragraph right before they present the methods. So look to see where it's located in the paper. Then you're going to count headings, bolded headings throughout. In this paper there were 10 headings. There were 3 level 1, I think one said methods, the other said results, and the other was discussion. And there were subheads. So just look at how it's structured so that when you write for this journal, you can figure out what you want to do. And then you're going to count. And then this Pololi article, it was short, and that's the reason I chose it, partly as a demo article. The introduction had only 3 paragraphs, and the literature and the background were together. The methods had 5, the results had 12, discussion 2 paragraphs, and the references were 1 page. So introduction is 3 paragraphs. That's good to know. You don't have to spend a lot of time on the introduction if you wrote for this journal, but just kind of setting up how is it structured. The research methods used were qualitative or quantitative or both. In this situation, it was qualitative. There were no figures. There were 2 tables and an appendices, and they used the pronoun we. Then I counted the references. There were 52 references in total. And then I went back through, although I didn't put those numbers in here, and I counted how many reports, journal articles, conference proceedings, books, book chapters, webs, or other kinds of things showed up in the reference list. And usually I put numbers on those. Some journals only seem to want, and I think this is one of them, want journal articles and no books, no book chapters. They really are not interested in that. They want most recent work, which comes out of journal articles. In addition, they may want, and some faculty have added to this category right here, some faculty have added the fact that in this category you could also add how many references are from the journal in which this is located. So I would look for how many references come from the Journal of General Internal Medicine. So then I would think to myself, is it important that I cite the journal to which I am submitting the work? Obviously, those are people that are supposed to have the conversation and about this topic. So it seems like they would, if you're sending it to this journal, there must be some other people in that same journal who are also writing about it. Other noteworthy items is references, how many references there were. And this one was interesting because references, they had numbered all the references, which I guess is a text structure that this convention that this journal wants. But numbers 17 to 50 were used for workshop as academic writing references. I have 52 references. Actually, I think that's wrong. Well, no, this is less than 50. So, but these were actually, it was an interesting thing they did. They put all the references that they used in the workshop as part of the reference list. Reference list for this was not not alphabetized. It was just numbered as the references came up in the text. So it is a little different. And so, but if I submitted to that journal, believe me, I would certainly make sure that my article had the same structure, similar heading, had that kind of short abstract, had the set statement, the purpose of the study, that's what I like it. And I didn't spend a lot of time on the background, but tended to spend a lot of time on the results. I would need 2 more articles just to make sure that this is true. And let me give you an example that I've done that shows 3 articles from the same journal, and the journal was College Teaching. I conducted the review in November last year, and it was we were getting ready to submit to college teaching, and so I put the in this form of the TSA, I put the author and the year in each one. So if I ever had to go back to find these, I could easily find them, articles. And what I thought's interesting is when you have three, you can then look for patterns across these articles. And there's a couple of patterns on this sheet that I want to point out. First one is all three of these articles have an action word in the title. Designing, creating, teaching. So maybe I'll do that in the title that I submit. The abstracts seem to vary from 100 to 200 words. There was no direct statement of the purpose, no research questions, etc. So I'm not going to belabor this too much, but I do want you to notice that once you use three articles from the same journal, you can begin to find some patterns which therefore would inform whatever you also submitted to that article, to that journal. The TSA is a powerful methodology that can give you some insight and confidence about what to submit, how long it should be, and what kinds of structures you can use that make it more likely, at least you'll be read and reviewed. Thank you.